Let me just check to be sure. Play a little bit of ambient music. Okay. Okay. All right. I think we're live everywhere. I'm checking the YouTube. Make sure there's sound.
Yeah,
and
YouTube's good.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're okay. Sounds good. All right. Welcome everyone to another week's BaconDAO community call. This is week, I don't know what, but July 25th. Every Sunday we do a community call just like this one. It used to be, well, we're always here to talk about whatever's interesting and ideally whatever is, opportunities in the market and helpful to others, to our members. So it used to be that, we talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin dominance, technical analysis. We talk about a bit of crypto 101 summary for educational stuff, BSC, Polkadot, and BaconDAO updates with Q&A. Over time, at least myself, I've found that the kind of BSC trend and the Polkadot segments, they aren't as engaging. I honestly haven't seen any questions regarding them. And I did a poll last week in the BaconDAO Discord to ask which topics do people find the most interesting and they want to see. And those were the least voted on. So I think that kind of fits how I see it as well. So starting this week, we're going to do the same Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin dominance analysis, because those will always be relevant, right? People are always interested in trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoin season, identifying when there is one. But in terms of specific altcoin niches and individual altcoin opportunities, we're not going to just throw stuff out based on defined categories all the time. Instead, we'll make it more like any of our head contributors right now, like Viper, Mahi, Hassan, right? If they find something interesting for this week that they have, or anyone else, right, that found something interesting for the week, they can make a proposal in what you see on the screen right now, which is the BaconDAO Hub. This is going to be our place to discuss ideas and vote, and they can come on the call and talk about those specific opportunities instead of us always forcing like kind of 20 minutes of segments on BSC or Polkadot, which are mostly news but not necessarily like actionable items. So yeah, I hope that makes the call a little bit more succinct and more useful. Unfortunately, I didn't put out a more defined voting structure last week, but we'll start from this week. So this week, I'm going to cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin dominance. And then last week, we had a poll, and a lot of people were interested to know about our Axie Infinity scholarship, which is being led by two of our community leads contributors, Luke and Mr. Bamzo. They have been getting really deep in the Axie Infinity game and how to earn and planning our BaconDAO initiative with our own scholarship. So Luke is going to give a brief overview on that in a bit. And then after that, we'll go straight into the Q&A and BaconDAO updates. And I'll show you guys, what we have been working on for the Content Hub and how I plan to use this for future weeks for us to kind of gauge on what kind of topics you want to see. So without further ado, let's get started. I'll start with Bitcoin first. And then once Luke, when you're ready, just kind of feel free to cut me off anytime if I'm kind of just hesitating, and then you can talk about your Axie stuff. Okay, so let me grab the charts. Also, Wonka isn't here today. He's taking a well-deserved break. If you're interested in specifically Wonka's analysis, check out the Bitcoin analysis channel. He's gonna keep posting every day. He is a bit more kind of shorter term, trying to ride both sides of the wave right now. I like to give a bit more longer term positioning. Let's just jump into it. So as usual, right? Stop me at any time or send a question in the events chat or the YouTube chat. But we still have the two levels, right? Same two levels, around 41K and around 30K. Let me just draw these on the chart right now. Around these lows here, right? 28.8 is the absolute lowest, but I would say a close around 30 on the daily. So ever since this big drop, right, we have been watching the 30 to 40K range. And I said, you can trade the short-term range, which is a lot of what Wonka is doing. But ideally for me, right, it's a clear breakdown is a break and close above, below this range, and a breakout is clear break above, right? So either something like this or something like this, right? Either cases are valid trades for me. Now, I did put out a tweet and a video and a message in the Discord on this recent drop here, because technically I was looking at 31K and we had a daily close below the 31K level, but you see we very quickly recovered above that. That happens, right? Shakeouts are called shakeouts for a reason. It's better to recognize it early and say, okay, my level was a bit too tight. Should have put it at 30 or even lower. So I probably was shaken out, which, I posted like 3-4 times after that now. So that was something. And so basically I sold pretty much at the bottom here, but I very quickly bought back, right, when it was clearly a shakeout. It will happen, right? It's way more important to react when you're wrong and recognize when you're wrong and react, instead of saying, okay, I predicted this was a breakdown. Even if it goes against you, I'm gonna hold it. That's trying to be right. You want to try to be making money instead of trying to be right. So that's why I just corrected myself. Now, that's one thing here to say, okay, after the fact, I recognize, I was probably shaken out a little bit, but I dug a lot deeper into this order flow analysis, which I found over, I actually have a snapshot here, I think. I have a snapshot here. So there's this new website called Coinalyze that I found that's super interesting. So, and I posted about this 2 times now. I just posted a new video explaining this a bit further. But this type of analysis is called order flow analysis. And this is kind of how I'm seeing the Bitcoin market right now, and how I see kind of retail trying to short while the insiders are trying to long, and why I think there's a short squeeze happening, and kind of fitting myself into the shakeout crowd of the retail, right? So here's what I see. Throughout this consolidation, right, in ever since May 15th or so on this big drop, price has tested around the 30K key support 3 times. But it hasn't broken it yet. It has wicked 3 times, but it hasn't broken it. And then next up, we can analyze the open interest. So the open interest, this is the one on Binance. The open interest tells us how much total positions there are in the market right now for futures, right? Because the more positions are open, the more people are paying interest. So when the total interest rate is going up, this is basically a better indicator than volume, because volume could be wash trading, where people are closing their longs, moving to short, closing their short, moving to longs. So there's no total amount of position increase. But when open interest is increasing, you know that the total amount of positions are increasing. So yes, there's actually more trading than before at these high levels. Now, then we look at the third indicator here, which is the aggregated funding rate. So the funding rate is an indicator that's well, it's a mechanism used in the perpetual swaps on futures market to correct the basis or the positive or negative premium of the futures contracts. So to explain that a bit more in depth, right? You have the Bitcoin price, which is something around like 34K right now. And then you have the Bitcoin futures contract price, as you can see on Bybit or BitMEX or Binance Perpetual. That could be 35K or 33K. So that difference there is caused by excessive amounts of longing or shorting on leverage, right, on the futures market. That causes that basis, what they call basis, right, negative or positive. And the funding rate is a percentage that's used to incentivize the other side of the futures contract. So when there's a lot of shorting in the market, the funding rate will be negative, so that all the people that are holding short positions will need to pay a percentage interest to the people that are holding long positions. So this incentivizes people to long, so that the difference in price for the futures don't go like out of hand, right? It's a mechanism. And you see, yeah, IOH posted in the events chat, right? Open interest, long short accounts ratio, aggregate funding rate. Yeah, exactly. Very useful to read that. Thanks for posting. So now that you understand funding rate, looking at I'm not sure if you see my cursor on screen, but looking at the trend line there I drew, let me try to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, looking at the trend line here, right? You see we have a positive uptick or a positive trend in the funding rate, which means people are you see my cursor, great. So this uptick in the funding rate throughout this consolidation period means that in all these total positions being opened, people are actually longing more than they're shorting. Now, there's always going to be the same long short amount of positions, but this is showing us that people used to short on this dump at and paying a high interest for it. But on the second dump, people are paying less, are willing to pay less. And on this third dump, people are paying even less, right? So this uptrend is showing us that out of all of the futures contracts being traded right now, people are not shorting as much. Not people, but the total amount is not as short as the previous two dumps to the 30K level. So basically, confidence is coming back, right? People are buying more than selling over these past 2 months. Not necessarily like the total amount, but the trend is coming back, right? Confidence is coming back, buying power is coming back. However, the most important chart here is the third chart here, the long short accounts ratio global. This is a metric that's exclusively available on Binance and Bybit. So this is very useful because this isn't the total position in dollar value ratio. Rather, it's the number of accounts ratio. So what this tells us is that basically it takes all of the people that have usernames and accounts like virtualbacon.com, whatever, right? iBankTech.com, whatever traders, right, on Binance, and then they look at, okay, are you long or are you short? And they take the number of accounts that are long divided by the number of accounts that are short, right? And you see throughout this the run up, right, there are a lot more accounts long than there are short. But after this recent dump, we have been holding relatively still. So all of a sudden, a lot more people are short, and then there isn't as much people long anymore, right? So that was what happened, caused by this dump. People kind of panicking. But then, although there has been a total increase in the dollar value of positions that are long, we're still seeing the same number of accounts that are long and short. So there's a discrepancy there. How do you explain that? Well, for each account, right, although your account might be net long or short, your position size is different. Some people are long $1,000, while others might be short $1 million, right? So those will reflect in the open interest and funding rate, but not the accounts ratio. So the fact that the total number of positions is starting to be more long than short, the total dollar value of positions, right, is starting to be more long. The number of accounts is still relatively the same, which means the large players or a select small group of large accounts are starting to long a lot, whereas the mass majority of small accounts, the retail traders, are short. That is what the third indicator here is telling us. It's telling me, at least. That's how I interpret it. And I see a couple, the person I learned this from on Twitter, his latest tweet also kind of confirms this. So this is very interesting because if you just look at the historical performance of how this long-short accounts ratio correlates to the price, typically when most accounts are long while the large accounts are short, that's a counter indicator because the retail traders are typically wrong, right? The 80%, those are the 80% losers of the market, while the 20%, the large accounts usually win. So this is why currently I think there's a short squeeze happening. It's not because we have an excessive, dollar value of shorts. That's not the case. That doesn't happen. There's always going to be the same dollar value of longs and shorts. Rather, when we know the people that are shorting are the retail, while the people that are secretly longing and actually driving up this funding rate are the insiders and the big players. Once we know this, we know that which side I like to take, which is the side of the insiders. That's why I combined with the fact that I actually kind of saw the bottom a little bit, I panicked a little bit. I probably had a retail mind, right? But I think these two can work very closely together to say, I think at the very least we should be able to see around 40K in this rally before 30K again. So yeah, that's why I've bought back my Bitcoin around the 32K level. I think 2 days ago when I said I was most likely shaken out. This is probably a short squeeze. Hope that makes sense. It took me a good 3-4 days to really get this clear in my mind. But that's currently what I'm seeing is I think we should at least see 40K, a squeeze up to 40K before anything close to 30K can happen again. Now, the longer term trend is still kind of remains, right? Whether we break above 40K, then I would like to take probably a leverage position or enter into take on more risk if we can break above 40K, and have a retest. But I think a revisit to 40K is on the tables right now. Sorry, losing my thought a little bit. Okay, so just to show you a bit more example, right, of what I just shown you on the order flow actually playing out. So if you go on CoinAlyte, this coinalytes.net, not sponsored, right? I just discovered the site like 2 days ago. And then you look at futures data for coins, Bitcoin, and as I said, you can only find the long short accounts ratio on Binance, BTC USDT perpetual or Bybit. So I'm going to do the BTC USDT perpetual because this is by far the largest volume for Bitcoin trading right now. Around 10 times as much as the second pair, if you check on CoinGecko for the volume. And then, so let's look at the daily, longer term. I already have the open interest here. Let's do the funding rate, aggregate, and the long short accounts, ratio global. Yeah. And then, right, so on the right here, you see this is what I just shown you on the other chart. But let's see this in action a little bit before to see if this actually worked, right? So on the 50 to 60K, run up, right? Here's the same kind of analysis applied there. So remember when we had 3 price peaks, right? At 58K, 61K, 64K, right? Throughout this period, if you look at open interest, relatively still, right? About the same, which means we had about the same number of, same amounts of total futures positions that were opened, right? And then looking at the third chart here, the aggregate funding rate tells us how much of these total positions people are willing to long or short. And you see the funding rate was going down, right? With these 3 peaks here. I need to draw in white here, right? You see these 3 peaks were getting lower, which means people were willing to long at lower and lower interest rates. So this shows that the buying power is decreasing and diminishing. So combining these 2 charts, we know that, okay, total buying power is going down. However, looking at the third chart here, third indicator, the long short accounts ratio, I need the line chart, line tool here. You see, we actually had 3 higher peaks, right, at the bottom here. So this is divergent from the funding rate. What does this mean? So even though the total buying power is diminishing, we have actually more people that are long, but the total number of people that are long is increasing, but the total buying power is decreasing. What does this mean? This meant that at these high levels, right? Obviously hindsight 2020, but at these high levels from above around 60 to 65K, the total buying power was increasing. The total buying interest was decreasing, but the number of people that were willing to long are increasing. So basically we have a bunch of small retail traders that were going long, while the big players were taking profits and exiting. That explains what we see on the divergence of funding rate and long short accounts ratio. So with the same kind of assumption that retail traders typically lose, if I had the same strategy before, we were able to kind of spot this top here and say, okay, retail is aggressively longing. Insiders, big players, actually taking profits. So we should probably trade with the insiders and big players and probably close our positions. And you see, what followed was exactly that, right? So funding rate continued to drop. So the buying power actually continued to drop. And on this lower high there being printed on the price, we saw these the long short ratio actually start to go down again. So this is the retail traders actually realizing, okay, this is probably the top, and then some of them getting liquidated, and then you see a big drop in the long short count ratio. So most of the longs got wiped out, right? Long accounts, not long positions, right? Because if you look at funding rate was already very low, near zero, which means the big players, the actual large positions already took profits. They de-risk already. But these small accounts, the large number of small accounts got wiped out. This was super interesting to me, what I saw by this guy Byzantine General post on Twitter. It took me quite a few days to really digest this, but yeah, this is kind of what I'm seeing right now. Is just to summarize, based on open interest, funding rate, and long short accounts ratio as shown on Binance, I'm able to conclude that large players are longing with large positions, while retail traders are mostly still short. And this will explain the long short accounts ratio. And we usually we trade against the retail traders because they're typically wrong. And that's why, I'm actually a bit more bullish right now. Yeah, so that's kind of how I spent most of my weekend, this weekend, to really study this and make it clear to myself to come up with a position that and a strategy that has worked before, and to deduce what's really happening, something useful and actionable. Okay. So
now would be a good time to talk about Axie.
Cool. Let's talk about Axie, Luke. Yeah. I'll just a quick reminder. So we just launched I just made the BaconDAO hub public. So we're going to be using this. It's based on discourse. It's a forum. Basically, anyone can comment and post stuff. But all of today's call, I'll be as well as all the stuff I just talked about. I'll be posting the charts and in-depth analysis on here. So if you want to check this out, check out the link. I think I posted it in the DAO announcements, but I'll post this again. And if you have questions, you can post it there. But yeah, Luke, let's talk about the Axie scholarship we have going on. If you have anything that you want me to show on stream, just send me a deck or link or anything.
There is a doc inside events content.
Yeah.
You don't have to open it up, but that is what I'm going to be reading from.
Okay,
so,
I'll have that open. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Axie Infinity is a blockchain-based video game where users can collect NFTs of various in-game characters, Axies, and battle. The unique aspect of Axie Infinity brings to the current gaming space is a pay-to-earn model. Essentially, users are able to play the game and earn SLP, which is used to breed Axies, and earn money on top of that. So their in-game economy is, compared to other crypto games, it's really unique in the regards that when new users come onto the game, they must get access to 3 Axies, and this creates a demand. This demand for Axies raises the price of SLP and AXS. So we need SLP and AXS to breed these Axies. So when they have a demand, this creates a value for SLP and AXS. And when SLP rises in value, the more when SLP rises in value, the more users can earn each week in revenue. And currently, this is challenging the minimum wage in many developing countries. And again, this more revenue that people are able to rake in each week creates more of a demand for Axies. And then step one repeats. So we see that there's this loop of demand and that goes back into Axies. And currently, what I predict is going to be, or what will be the inevitable downfall of Axies, is when this Axie demand is met. So currently, this is going unmet, but yeah, I'll elaborate that here in a minute. On the chart, AXS seems quite overdue for a pullback as it rallied 10x from its June lows. While this price action is extreme, AXS is arguably cheaper now than ever. With a price ratio of 8x, AXS is in a healthy range as its currently as its current valuation is justified.
Wait, sorry. Do you mean I think you mean like 0.125 PE, right? If it's 8x, it's probably earnings to price.
Hold on, I'm sorry. What was that?
Right? Am I crazy?
The price to earnings I'm taking off of Token Terminal.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, go on. I'm probably okay. Crazy. Yeah.
I was chalking this all up this morning, so it might be an error on my end also. But you see this 8x valuation at $40 currently.
Oh, okay. I think it's. No. Okay, never mind. Yeah, go.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So this price to earnings ratio is a little bit high in the crypto space. I think 10x is sort of on the high side, but we must keep in mind the amount of players that are actually playing this game, and the amount that is going to ramp up in the future. So currently there's 600,000 people playing Axie Infinity, and this is a minuscule amount of users for a fully diluted valuation of around 11.25 billion. With an annual revenue of 1.2 billion based on the last 30 days, this equates to roughly $2,000 per user in revenue on average. And this $1.2 billion in revenue shouldn't be ignored also, as Candy Crush raked in $1.19 billion in 2020. And with the hold on, I have the statistics somewhere. There was 300 and in 2020 there was 373 million people playing the game. So we can see that AXS has ample room to continue to grow and continue to fetch more funds, especially as it starts coming over into the Western countries and it starts challenging the minimum wage and around in the United States and other more developed countries. So I think there's more room for AXS to grow. When we look at the return in earnings, users can roughly generate around 1,000 SLP a week in their initial first few weeks. So they're able to generate, I think, roughly double the SLP after a month or so. Currently, at SLP's current valuation, this equates to about $300 a week. Users can then sell their SLP on Uniswap or breed Axies. Most Axies trade at a higher premium than the cost of SLP AXS breeding fees. Currently, this means breeders are earning a higher return of roughly 3,000% APY. or return on investment, rather.
Okay.
When breeding in meta axes, this return can easily double. So there's lots of axes that are pretty illiquid on the market, but they have a really high demand. And me and Bamzo are looking to breed those at some point. And we're looking to start with those for our initial teams. But we're also looking to breed those more in meta axes, so we can, of course, have a better return for the DAO, and to get a better return on our investment.
Awesome. I think that's 30,000% is pretty. I mean, 3,000%. That's pretty nice. So basically, like the amount of like SLP or AXS you put in back into breeding instead of selling is going to net you 30x more return, because Axies are actually in demand. Okay, very cool.
Yeah, and then when we look at there's certain breeds that have certain, like there's, each Axie has 4 cards, and each card has a certain demand with it, and if you have 2 cards together, the price of Axie will have way more demand than just the same Axie with 1 card. And we can see a lot of these Axies. For example, I sold an in-meta Axie the other night for 0.41 ETH, and it already had 3 breeds and was pretty used up. And we can see if we breed, this is more of luck rather than skill. If me and Bamzo were to breed a in-meta Axie with 100% purity, we could leave it. We can just sell the virgin Axie onto the market, and then we can earn close to around an Ethereum for just that one virgin 100% Axie. So we can easily get higher than this 3,000% return. I think it's just a matter of being keen on the market and watching what's in meta and trying to be ahead of the curve. So I ultimately have pretty high hopes for everything. I was budgeting a little bit over the last 2 days, which I'll be showcasing here in a few days. But in about 2 months' time, after we get, once we start accumulating our initial Axies, we should recoup the majority of our investment after
2 months
before the second month.
Okay.
So we should see about 2/3 of it paid off, or if we do really well in breeding, we can probably get all of it paid off within 2 months.
Makes sense.
So I have pretty high hopes for the Axie scholarship going forward, but it's going to be the breeding fees that we're going to make all of our money on. So it's, in my eyes, it's getting our initial scholars up and running so we can use their SLP for breeding. And then from there we can generate a pretty hefty return.
Very cool. I look forward to this proposal. A couple of things. Well, first off, like when feel free to start drafting kind of the proposal on our kind of forum. But you can also just wait till you're ready. Doesn't matter. But the specific, value generated for the DAO, the scholars, the players, and you guys as managers. I think you and Bamzo will feel free to take a couple of examples from maybe Yield Guild or whatever is popular for the kind of profit breakdown, right? So that because I know us, the team, like we don't have a very, at least myself, I'm not really playing Axie right now. I'm not even holding it. So what we can provide is a bit of capital, but you guys are doing a lot of work, and the players will want to we'll want to give them like the profit. So basically, for everyone listening, right, once you join BaconDAO and you know how to play the game, you have the time, and it makes sense for you, but you just don't have the initial capital, we'll have the opportunity for you to take a team of Axies and start playing and earn an income that will be split between, you know, Luke and Bamzo for organizing, for keeping the Axie teams in check and breeding, and for the DAO to be paid a little bit for providing the initial capital, and the players will get income. So that's ultimately, you know, what we're able to achieve. And yeah, I look forward to it. I think this will be done. I don't know. It seems like we already made a lot of progress since last week. Last week it was just the idea, right? Of okay, this is roughly, you know, some ideas how this is working. This week we already kind of gauged the put it in writing of analysis of the AXS token, where the actual opportunity is, how long this can last, based on the PE ratio. This is actually still growing instead of topping out. Returns or earnings for a typical use case, and then we can start using the typical use case as to draft our budget, which by like you said, you'll have something ready to present when you do, hopefully soon. And then we also sent out the form. So we also have a channel. We have an Axie role. So if someone is interested, you can go on the BaconDAO Discord, go in the I think roles channel, and you can assign yourself the Axie role. I see there's currently 37 people. So if you want to be notified of all the happenings around this topic and when scholarships actually open, give yourself that role, and you can start talking about it and asking questions, and be one of the first to be notified for playing opportunities. Yeah. Anything else, Luke, around Axie?
I think that's it. We'll probably have more details around the scholarships and how we're going to ramp up in the coming days. Me and Mr. Bamzo will work on that.
Okay.
And I have very high hopes for all this, and yeah, this is going to be working out pretty well, I anticipate.
Awesome.
So
sounds great.
That's it for me, so
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Appreciate it. We'll make sure this is not too risky for the DAO's capital, but also we want to make sure that it's beneficial for the players and the managers. So yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next topic. As usual, I'll be including the doc and what we discussed in the Axie Infinity scholarship segment in the summary for this call. Okay, so we went over Bitcoin analysis. We all went over Bitcoin order flow analysis. Ask Loki, can we see the business case when ready? I'm not sure what you mean. I guess you mean the proposal for the Axie Infinity. Yes, that will be actually live and public once it's ready with all the actual actionable items that you can vote on our forum. So go on hub.bacondao.com and sign up, and you can see basically all of our future everything: content, proposals, analysis, daily digest, newsletters, community call summaries, any educational stuff will be on here, because this is like kind of all in one, right? It's better than Medium because you can send your stuff, and if it's good, people will see it. Okay, so moving on, Ethereum analysis. Let's look at Ethereum. So taking into account what we just talked about for Bitcoin, I think a revisit of 40K is reasonable, but longer term, we still need to break above 40K and see the retest. Right, now let's look at ETH/USD. So I would say very similar, right? ETH/USD, you see we had this consolidation zone from 1420, the previous all-time high, and the 2K range. And we have had 3 tests of this low now, right? So if you map the 3 lows here, around 1700 or just around 1800, right? We had the first panic sell here, and then we had two tests now of this level. So it's pretty much hinged on the performance of Bitcoin, right? What ETH is doing when compared to dollar value. So basically, if you are just super bullish on ETH and you prefer holding ETH to Bitcoin, then yeah, there is a case to be made there where if you think Bitcoin is going to recover, you can hold ETH. It probably will perform a little bit less or about the same than Bitcoin based on the money flow of crypto, how it is. So that's why I'm still not holding any ETH just yet. We need to see Bitcoin's trend clearly establish itself. So what I mean by that is in order for holding any altcoins, including ETH, to make sense in this kind of uncertain periods, we need to see it outperform Bitcoin. So because when you hold altcoins, it's taking on more risk than Bitcoin. They fluctuate more than Bitcoin. So if they don't outperform Bitcoin in rallies, you're taking on more risk for less return. It doesn't make sense, right? That's why I look at the ETH versus Bitcoin chart, right? And you see, I have told you guys, like, I think a month ago, right, that I've sold all my ETH for Bitcoin in anticipation for ETH BTC to drop on this second lower high there. And you see, we just printed a third lower high, right? So clearly, ETH BTC is not in an uptrend right now, right? We have had 3 lower highs now. Yes, we do have this kind of lower support, right? So technically, it's kind of a symmetrical triangle. If you really want to put the TA on there and you take all these levels, right? What you have here is pretty much a symmetrical triangle, right? You have tests of support, tests of resistance. So a symmetrical triangle is a non-biased pattern, right? So any breakout above or below is completely possible. You should treat it as 50% probability. So that's why if you're long ETH right now instead of Bitcoin, what you're doing is, like, you're basically trading this to potentially go up, right? That's the only case that this makes sense. And what's the chance that this will actually break upwards? Typically in a symmetrical triangle, that's 50%. It's really a toss-up, and that's why I'm not trading this. So if we do see a break in ETH BTC outside of this triangle, and ideally make a new higher high here, right, above the 0.068, if you see on top of me right now, right here, this would kind of signal a new uptrend. After this move has established itself on ETH BTC, the likeliness for a continued uptrend in ETH BTC is more than 50%. After that point, it would make sense for me to hold ETH instead of Bitcoin, because even though I'm taking on more risk, there's a at least higher than 50% chance that it's going to be higher reward. Currently, it doesn't make much sense because it is just a symmetrical triangle. Symmetrical triangle, typically 50% chance of up or down. So by taking on more risk here, you're effectively tossing up your money and saying, okay, 50% chance I make more money, 50% chance I lose more money. So I don't know, it doesn't make more sense. So that's why I'm still just holding Bitcoin right now, even though, yes, market is recovering. And if you compare ETH versus Bitcoin side by side, right? On the left here, we have ETH USD dollar chart. On the right here, we have BTC USD dollar chart. And you see, if Bitcoin is recovering, ETH will likely recover as well in dollar value. However, that percentage will probably be the same, right? So ETH BTC will probably go sideways or even drop a little bit. We don't know. It's 50-50. So 50-50 is not a good trade to take. So yeah, you can, if you really want to hold ETH, you can hold ETH. It doesn't, you're not going to lose money as long as Bitcoin goes up. But does it make sense to is that the most optimal move? No, not yet. What I see is likely, right, is if we get, actually Bitcoin to test the 40K range again, and then actually make a breakout and retest, this will clearly confirm a longer term uptrend, at least towards the 50K, try to test the all-time high. If that happens, then there should be enough confidence to actually make ETH BTC breakout, right? So I think it's likely that only after Bitcoin breaks about 40K and makes a retest, we see ETH, make a new high, break out of this symmetrical triangle and make a high and make a retest. So that's why right now I'm riding, even though I'm bullish on Bitcoin, I'm riding this to around 40K. And then if we see an even higher breakout or Bitcoin try to consolidate like above 40K, then ETH will start to move again. So that's my current plan, is not holding any ETH just yet. Need to see Bitcoin break above 40K, and coincidentally, I think that will be the point when ETH BTC can actually move up with a confirmed breakout if it does. Okay, so that's Ethereum analysis, and again, I'll put all this into today's community call summary. Go on hub.bacondao.com, sign up for an account to read today's summary after this call. Next up, we have Bitcoin dominance analysis. This will be very similar to the ETH BTC chart, right? So again, let me bring up btc.d. So Bitcoin dominance, these are the levels and predictions we had last week. So we are still kind of below this key resistance here for Bitcoin dominance, around 47%. But we have had, if you look at the weekly, right, last week we had this trend line. So exactly 7 days ago with July 17th, and you see we had this trend line as support. It's still bouncing from this support. So the more times that a resistance level is tested, the weaker it becomes, the more likely it is to break. So we had 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, and now the 4th test of this resistance here. So I think it's becoming much more likely that we see a Bitcoin dominance rise. The last nail in the coffin would be a clear close above this zone, right? Then on the retest here, this is, if you see this downward move, this retest of this of candle close, this will be a clear confirmation for a reverse L season. What I'm expecting. So I'm not short on altcoins by any means, right? You have to understand that even if this Bitcoin dominance does go up, right? Bitcoin sucks up liquidity from altcoins. It could just be the case that Bitcoin is going up faster than altcoins. So your favorite altcoins like ETH, Cardano, Link, Binance Coin, whatever, right? It could still go up. But if it goes up 5% while Bitcoin goes up 10%, that will match perfectly with a uptrend in Bitcoin dominance. So in that case, it's not worth it to be holding the more risky altcoin. So that's why I'm not holding any altcoins right now that are secondary market that are trading. I do have a couple like asymmetrical investment opportunities that I'm looking at. You can check in the Bacon's Gems channel in the Discord, but overall I'm still expecting Bitcoin dominance to go up. So yeah, still holding just Bitcoin right now, even though I'm overall more confident in the market coming back. To put this even more clear, I like to look at 100% minus Bitcoin dominance. So doing this on TradingView, this is effectively what you can call altcoin dominance, right? So because Bitcoin dominance is a percentage, right? When you take 100% minus that percentage, you have the total crypto market cap, the percentage that's denominated in all altcoins. And you see this chart is very, very similar to that of ETH BTC, right? See, ETH BTC has had on the right here 3 consecutive higher lows here. And if you look at 100 minus Bitcoin dominance, which is altcoin dominance, also 3 consecutive higher lows now. I'll take out all the levels here. Oh, it's lagging a little bit. Okay, so that's why ETH is a classic example of, okay, the strongest altcoin of them all, the second highest market cap, is even not outperforming Bitcoin right now. So then you look at Bitcoin dominance or altcoin dominance, again, a bit of a symmetrical triangle, right? Same as ETH BTC. I'll just draw this very roughly, right? But you guys get the idea. Right, lows here, highs there, symmetrical triangle. So just Google symmetrical triangle, right? What is their typical move? It's 50% up, 50% down. So by taking any altcoin trades against Bitcoin right now, right, you're effectively taking a 50-50 bet to say your altcoin will outperform Bitcoin. That's the same as ETH. That's what it shows on altcoin dominance as well. So it's not a very intelligent, well, not a very, it's, you could be lucky, but it's pretty much 50-50. So that's why I'm not taking it. Still just holding Bitcoin based on ETH BTC and based on Bitcoin dominance. Right, so just to give a bit of actual strategy, right? When Bitcoin dominance actually breaks above this 47% range, the retest here will be a much clearer signal to say, okay, reverse alt season is on. Altcoins will clearly lose a lot of value against Bitcoin. And the converse will be, is possible, right? There's a close to 50% chance that if Bitcoin dominance comes down and breaks below this around 44.5% range and make a new lower low, that means my analysis was actually wrong, that we have a mini alt season. In that case, I will like to take on a bit of altcoins, whether that's ETH or the fundamentally strong trends like some NFT coins like AXS or Olympus-DAO is another outperformer. The DeFi, DPI is overall holding pretty well, right? Fundamentally, they're very strong. So if Bitcoin dominance breaks down and clearly confirms below 44.5%, I would like to take on more altcoins. But for now, not doing it. So that's both sides of the coin, clearly covered, 2 strategies for all scenarios, right? So that's Bitcoin dominance for you. Going to include this in the call summary for today as well. And lastly, a bit of BaconDAO updates. We have the Axie scholarship that is in the final stages of the proposal, coming up with the specific numbers. Once that's ready, I'll post it on our forum with a couple vote choices for you guys to choose. These voting will be based on per membership. Right now, we don't have the token yet, so it's anyone that signs up can vote because that's our core community that knows this exists. But eventually, it will only be based on the people that are holding the token and are actual BaconDAO members. And also make sure you sign up to our content hub, hub.bacondao.com. This is a place where we'll be migrating our Medium articles, the announcements, daily digests. We have our official courses coming up, our community call summaries, the Ask Anything channel here right now in the Discord. It's not being used as much because it's a lot of the repeated type of questions like, oh, how do I set up a MetaMask, or my withdrawal from Binance is not going through. Can someone help me, right? In Discord, this isn't the best way to do it because it's a chat room, right? So you can ask it and one of our team members, mods, contributors, or other members will answer it. But then the same question will be asked again, and it's not searchable. It's not clear. But when we migrate to the forum, right? For example, you can go on the Ask Anything segment. And if you remember, you can ask like, how can I set up a MetaMask wallet, right? And then you can create a topic. You can just like blah blah. You can type your can someone help, right? And you create a topic, right? And then this has the you'll get a notification in your email if someone replies, and if someone solves your problem, you can mark anyone's replies here as like check out metamask.io, right? Let's say I reply to this. You can mark this reply as a solved, right? So it acts as like Stack Overflow, specifically for the Ask Anything segment. And once you mark this as solved, that reply will be the one that's pinned right below your question. And on top of that, once this is there, anyone that comes onto the forum, we can make the search functionality front and center and say, wondering, what kind of questions, search. You can type MetaMask, right? And here right away, every single question that has been asked and then answered will show up as a question, right? So very clearly, right, it says, okay, how do I set up MetaMask wallet? And you see it has been solved. So you don't have to repeat the same kind of questions. You click into it, you see, okay, someone else has asked this question, another person has answered it. Great, I now have that knowledge there. So this is, in my opinion, a much better system, right, of not necessarily like us setting up tutorials like what we think is best to serve you. There might be just very simple beginner questions that is very nuanced, that is not clear, that has to be based on Q&A, but this allows us to make it also searchable. So I think this is very cool. And also through this, right, we incentivize for people to join BaconDAO, hold the token, become a member, and for constantly checking on the forum to answer these questions, right? That ties into our grants program, where over time, let's say every day, every week, we recognize the most helpful members that are solving other people's problems, and you'll receive Bacon rewards. Now, that specific process will be very case-by-case basis. We'll do trial and error, but that is already designed into our tokenomics, right? So this makes it a very collaborative environment where you can actually ask anything, unlike our current Discord channel where it's not necessarily everything will be answered. On here, you ask anything, it will be answered. It will be there forever, searchable. And if you're very helpful and you're knowledgeable, you will be recognized and you'll be rewarded. Whether that's actually, making a course or just simply helping a lot of people with one-off questions. I don't know. I'm very passionate about this. And so check it out. Sign up for an account. I think this is a very good holistic approach to kind of our mission, right? It's like helping each other learn crypto, and if you're helpful, you're rewarded. If you're a beginner, you'll learn, and then eventually you can become helpful, help others as well. I'm excited, honestly. So this is our hub, and right, we also launched our NFT tickets design. We unveiled those. If you go on our Medium right now, I'm gonna check out the events chat. Stack Overflow for BaconDAO. Yeah, that's essentially what it is, right? It's it combines all of that. So if you check out, so our whitelist. If you are watching this, or if you're in the group call or the YouTube call, Twitter, whatever, check out our whitelist, right? The Discord whitelist sale. There is a the whitelist has been closed, right? There were 50 people chosen, a very select small group of people that are verified on our Discord. Check out the spreadsheet. This will have all of the list of Discord members that are chosen for this whitelist, and you can contribute to the public sale of Bacon. Right now, about half of the people that have already contributed, but I think a bunch of people haven't seen it yet. So yeah, make sure you if you enter the whitelist, check this out. See if your name is on there. And if you just come into the Discord, there's a special role now called whitelist, and a channel set up for you that you'll see the instructions, everything in there. And lastly, I'll talk a little bit about the NFT membership design and how we made it, right? So when you participate in other like token-based groups and DAOs, typically they check your token balance, right? Like hold 2,000 DDEM to access DuckDAO, or 1,000 Whale to access their server, etc. But we chose to take it a step further with NFT membership tickets, or I guess it's a membership cards to be more precise, right? So this makes it so that you don't need to just hold the Bacon tokens, because just holding it in your wallet is kind of a waste, right? You can farm it, you can provide liquidity and further support the project. But in other projects cases, if you provide liquidity and you stake it, you lose that membership access, right? But for us, that's not the case, because I've coded this myself, where you can stake, after we launch the token very soon, you can stake Bacon token or stake Bacon liquidity pool token and earn the farming yield or the liquidity mining yield, whatever you want to call it. So you earn new Bacon. And on top of that, if you have staked, if you just scroll down here, there are 3 tiers: the purple, gold, and platinum memberships. They each unlock different tiers of access and content. So if you stake $500 worth of Bacon, right? So 12,500 Bacon, or the same amount in Bacon liquidity pool, you're earning the yield. Plus, as long as you stake above that threshold, you get the purple membership automatically. And the purple membership is actually what gives you the channel access row in Discord and the relevant access in our hub, content hub, as well as any other future airdrops, private sales, any other opportunities that are the membership benefits, not the Bacon token holding amount. So this, I haven't seen anyone do this, right? It's unlocking the membership and earning yield at the same time. This is enabled by using an NFT. I think this was super cool. And yeah, so I'm really proud of coming up with this design, honestly. And yeah, so you can stake Bacon, or you can also like pay a small monthly fee. It's $40 per month, which is the same amount as the insider reports that I have held, I think from August 2020 to February this year, I think, for 6-7 months. That was also $40, right? So that includes the insider report only. But now it's insider report, daily digest, ask anything, voting on content, proposing content and potentially earning yield, and all the DAO chats, the DAO gems, all that, right? So it's way more content for the same price. So yeah, so obviously there will always be people that say, okay, you're charging people, but you gotta understand, like, we're literally paying the contributors, the mods, and the team members out of our own pocket, right? The money we've raised. So we need to make this a sustainable revenue stream for this to make sense, right? So yeah, so that's that. If you are interested in more kind of what this unlocks, check out the announcement article, BaconDAO NFT tickets and membership tiers. Yeah, so I think that's all the rambling I want to do for today. Let's do a bit of Q&A, right? So you can ask about Bitcoin analysis, Ethereum analysis, Bitcoin dominance, anything TA, altcoin related, BaconDAO related, anything. I'll be checking, in this segment, I'll be checking the events chat first and then the YouTube chat, as usual, again, like every week. And just a note, right, these kind of Q&As, people find them to be very valuable. So we want to set up more of these sections, not even just like on a weekly basis with only myself, but you can set up a more close group call to explain, let's say Wonka's TA for a specific day, Luke's altcoin pick, Viper's BSC pick. All of these will be, based on the tier structure of our NFTs. Yeah, so we're coming up with a lot more services. So Curtis asked $500 worth at any given time more at the 0.04 listing valuation. Yeah, so the 12.5K token stays consistent. Yes. So it won't be always $500. We'll try to make it the same. We'll try to adjust that token amount if the token price fluctuates too much on a monthly basis, but it's the token amount that stays the same. So this also, this fits any kind of staking, right? So if you staked early, you're effectively saying, okay, I speculate that BaconDAO membership will be in high demand, let's say a month from now. So I stake now, and your Bacon tokens will go up in price. So this is a positive feedback loop, because once you've staked enough Bacon and become a member, you can be answering people's questions and ask anything, and proposing ideas for the community calls and voting on what we cover every week's calls. And if the content actually improves and we get more members, Bacon token goes up in price because people will want to stake more Bacon, and your stake goes up in value, right? So that's I guess the catchphrase is you're taking part in the community, not just as the consumer, but also part of ownership of this community, right? Both in sort of value of the community as directly represented by the Bacon price, and having a say in the community by voting on ideas, contributing if you like, and getting rewarded. And if you really think what I talk about is bullshit, you can say, like, what you talk about is bullshit. And then if enough other members also think so, then I will stop talking about the bullshit, and someone else would. Maybe if you are a better contributor, you can say, okay, here's my analysis. I think I'm much better presenter than this guy. I have a much better, more profitable, strategy. If other members agree, then you'll vote it through, then you will host a call. It's a very democratic process, right? So it's having ownership in the BaconDAO community and its content and services as monetary incentive, but also as kind of dictating what the content and services offered actually are. But yeah, I try to not talk about bullshit. But if something is completely off, or if it's just boring or not useful, then I think the most likely direction will be we still have our head contributors and our team, right? Everyone likes Wonka's analysis, Kern's analysis, my TA analysis, but you can vote on, okay, maybe Wonka, can talk a bit more educational like, or give a bit more, whatever it is, the presentation style. And then let's say Viper gives you like a signal. For example, he just posted in BSC chat, BSC gems yesterday, like Kevlar, one of the gems he found. If you found that to be very interesting, you can say like, here's a proposal. Hey Viper, if you find something next time and you think, right away this is very interesting, could you just start a call right away and ping us? And if enough people support that, then that's the way he will try to incorporate his content, right? So I think it'll still be a bit top down, right, with more experienced people being recognized and leading the opportunities to research. But we'll use this process to recognize who's actually more experienced and try to find the best way to present the information, right? To make sure we also eat our own dog food and check ourselves, right? To make sure we're not just feeding you what we think is good. Awesome. And I think that's about it for this. Cool. I see someone already posted in DAO ideas. Yofish says, heads up, your mic is a very metallic with a fuzzy minor echo. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm using a Blue Yeti. It's but I'm streaming on my Mac, right? So it's like the fan is spinning like crazy. So I have to get it very far away from the computer. It's kind of what it is. I should stream on a PC instead with better ventilation. Okay, let me check on the YouTube chat really quick, just to see the kind of questions we have, and then we'll call it for this week. Okay. Mohi asked, talk about Polka, please. Cool. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't think there was so much demand for Polka, but yeah, I mean, parachains are still happening. I think I'm not sure who the latest winner for the crowd loan is, but I do know that Kusama's state mint, is it state mint or state? I think it's state mint. The common goods parachain going permissionless. The vote is happening Monday, which is tomorrow. So after that, all of these Kusama-based parachain projects can release their tokens on the common goods chain. Now that includes one of my altcoin picks, which is RMRK. I invested a lot into that one. So they're going to be launching their token on statement very soon. So fingers crossed for that. But yeah, it's Kusama crowd loans and parachain developments are happening very rapidly. So good on that. I'm not sure who the latest winner is. You can definitely search up like Kusama parachain auction winners. I think it's like up to the 5th or 6th now. And also, I think Karura's token has been listed, if I was not wrong. I saw some sort of news around that. But yeah, if you just Google Kusama parachain auction winners, there is a tracker on the actual, I think, block explorer for the Kusama ecosystem, and you can see who the winners are. Verma asks, should I buy Bitcoin now? Tell me now. I mean, like if you, yeah, like if you're in long term, like Bitcoin's always a good investment. Do you all trade Bitcoin futures? I don't trade futures. Futures is really good to look at for order flow analysis, but I'm not trading futures right now. Not with margin. So if I'm only trading spot without margin, then it doesn't make sense to talk about futures. CRO analysis and how do I become a BaconDAO disciple? So CRO, it is what it is, right? When I first talked about it, right? I do think it's undervalued, right? When comparing to other kind of exchange coins because right, this all-time high here around like 25 cents. If you compare this all-time high and the summer all-time high to the all-time high of, let's say, Binance coin to FTX coin, KuCoin shares, OKX coin, those have all outperformed the CRO. But then again, that's kind of probably due to some reason of CRO is just not doing the right things under the hood. So yeah, I'm now, less confident in this. Yes, it will come back, right, in a bull market, but in a bull market, you want to pick the winners, not like see which ones are underperforming and you want to bet on the underperformers, right? You want to bet on the strong performers. So yeah, I'm not holding any CRO right now. I think their card programs and their app is very good. I use it to buy Bitcoin and I use their card, but it is what it is. Their coin has just been underperforming. Honestly, I don't know why. And the fact that I don't know why is probably reason to not be too bullish on it. Roman asks, hey, I'm a big fan. When are you going to be streaming? So we stream every Sunday at 11 p.m., 11 a.m. EST, PST, or 6. Is this 6 or 7? I think it's 7 p.m. UTC every Sunday. What's your view on Cardano? Do you think Cardano DeFi is the next big thing? No, I don't think. I think fundamentals of Cardano is kind of weak, to be honest with you. However, Cardano 88 does have very, very strong community and good marketing. So yeah, like just plain and simple. If you look at Cardano, DeFi, smart contracts, dApps built on Cardano, it's practically non-existent. So that doesn't mean that price isn't going to outperform, but you have to recognize for what it is, right? So don't buy into too much of like, oh yeah, Cardano is going to be like so strong fundamentally. No, like look at BSC, right? They've spun up so many dApps in the whole ecosystem so quick, while Cardano has like been around since 2017, still no dApps. So what's going on, right? So, but at the same time, their price has gone up. So see it for what it is. They're good at marketing. They have a strong community. Charles Hoskinson is smart and very well versed. They have good marketing. And then maybe you look at the price and you look at price and how the community is doing instead of dApps, because that's not what Cardano is good at least right now, right? Their approach is a bit too slow. Lolly asks, hey BB, can anyone just stake the Bacon tokens, or is there any special requirement to stake it? No, anyone can stake it. Anyone can stake it. Is Kusama a buy now? No opinion. I would say no. And no altcoins a buy now. Just go back into earlier parts of this stream. For any altcoin to be a buy, have to look at Bitcoin dominance, right? Bitcoin dominance right now, no trade zone. So no altcoin is a buy for me right now. If Bitcoin dominance breaks down, right, below 44.5%, most altcoins are a buy. Chainlink, Cardano, Polkadot, Kusama, I don't know, like Binance Coin, FTX Coin, Solana, KuCoin shares, whatever, any strong altcoin, Polygon, anything, right, that's fundamentally strong is a good buy. They'll probably all outperform Bitcoin to some extent. Some will run first, some will run after, kind of just noise. You have to be positioned in altcoins at the right time, not pick the specific altcoins, because they all kind of move together. Oh yeah, Quant. QNT has seemed to be a beast throughout the last month or so, holding up pretty well. Yeah, so that's a good point. So if you let's go on CoinGecko. So there's a handful of coins that throughout the mid-May crash of Bitcoin has actually held up and gone up, whether that's price or market cap. There's a handful. So those are the ones that when Bitcoin recovers, are going to be the strongest performers, in my opinion. And they're definitely on my watch list. So if you can just stop lagging, I'll show you guys this, please. Come on. Oh my God. I really need to stream on PC instead because this is overheating. Okay, so Axie, very clear winner. Jesus, why is this so slow? Okay, looking at Axie, right? Run out $40. I think around the May crash, it was like a couple dollars, right? It was very, let's say the past 3 months, right? Mid-May, right, under $10. So it has literally 4x, right? Axie, definitely a strong performer in this consolidation / uncertain period. So when Bitcoin recovers, if alt season comes back, Axie is going to be a very strong performer. Another one that I've been keeping an eye on, like what you just said, Quant is another one. Yes, QNT. Come on. Okay, so QNT, again, looking at the past 3 months performance, so 90 days. See, around the mid-May crash, it was around $40, right? Now at $92, all-time high, literally all-time high. So another strong performer, right? So you want to find coins that even during this uncertainty period have outperformed the market and actually gone up by themselves, right? Quant is another one, yes. Another one is Ohm, Olympus DAO. This one I have been holding for quite a while, actually, for about a month or so. This is one specific one that I have found to be kind of outperforming. But it is quite difficult to understand because it is a rebase coin. So that's why I didn't cover it too much, because if you haven't dealt with rebase coins before, you will be terribly misled by just following into it. But essentially with rebase coins, you have to look at the market cap growing instead of the price, because when you hold Olympus, you actually get more Olympus just by holding it, right? That's why the supply actually, rebases up and goes up. So even if the price stays around the same, the market cap goes up and you get more coins. So that's why you have to look at the market cap performance of Olympus and taking, past 3 months, 90 days. You see around the mid-May crash, it was at 160 million. After the May crash, dropped down to around 50 million market cap, but then broke back above that market cap high, made new highs, had a retest, and now it's at 400 million in market cap. So basically ever since the pre-May crash, it has gone up like 3x. Another strong performer, right? So these are the type of coins that when Bitcoin dominance goes down and we're in an alt season, these are the ones that are going to be strongest performing. Let me think of if there's any other examples. I can't think of something that's maybe Helium. Let me just look at it really quick. I'm not sure if I'm remembering the price very correct. No, not Helium. This has gone down, right? So yes, a lot of the strong coins, they are on dips, but if they have underperformed Bitcoin during this week period, then they aren't the strongest coins right now. The strongest coins are the ones that are outperforming. Maybe AMP. Let's see just some of the trending coins here. $90 days. Nope, not this one. So you want to see coins that since the May 12th to May 15 levels have gone up dramatically, way above that. So far we've just covered 3: Quant, Olympus DAO, Axie Infinity, right? So yeah, these are the coins that I'm going to be like picking up when alt season starts again. Okay, that's about it. I think I'll also include this in this week's community call summary. Yeah, I'll edit this really quick to add a new topic here. 3 outperforming altcoins. Right, we have AXS, we have Ohm, we have Quant, right? Yeah, so I'll go over this a bit more in depth. So yeah, go on our content hub, and if you want to see today's summary after this call. Let me just check on the Discord for a last bit before we jump off. AMT says VB needs to upgrade his battle station to a nice gaming PC. Dude, yeah, it is what it is. Ask Lokir asks, if we didn't get in the whitelist, what's the best way there? Buy and mint? You can get on. You can try to get on the DAO Maker whitelist, but yeah, it's buy and mint. You can either buy to stake and mint or pay monthly. Same thing. So you can think we designed it to the way that the monthly price is kind of if you time that by 12, it's kind of a year's price, and that year's price is kind of the stake amount. So treat it as like a lifetime. So it's a very typical design of how a subscription will work. Okay, just checking the Discord questions. Very soon, yeah. So just for our actual listeners of the core community, most of our things are ready to launch, right? But we want to launch at a good time, and we're kind of coordinating with DAO Maker, with our announcement, and with the a potential centralized exchange to not launch at a time when Bitcoin is dumping, right? So we have a very strong project. We've been working on this for a long time. You guys know there has been a lot of delays, not because like we want to push back the things, because we can get it out there and still continue on our roadmap. That's the plan, but we don't want it to launch at a bad price based on just overall Bitcoin dumping. So we want to make sure that Bitcoin is at least stable to launch then, right? That's basically the only thing that's making the dates fluctuate so much. It's the market uncertainty. But I think market is looking very clear. And if Bitcoin continues to see this bounce continue to happen, I think we'll be able to announce very soon. Okay. Luke asked about DeFi passport skin from ArcX. I haven't gotten one. Yeah, I mean, ArcX is doing a lot of things right. They have DeFi passport skin for, I mean, they're doing DeFi passports for Aave, Sushi, and Olympus, right? So good stuff. They have really, really strong partners. I just wish they would do a bit more marketing, and their liquidity is just so low that every time I try to accumulate and I try to sell, it's just like I kill myself from like the amount I want to buy and sell. It's really painful. Like it takes me like a week to accumulate on SushiSwap. It's kind of crazy. Okay, anyways, that's about the as much as we have for this week prepared. Yeah. I think we'll end it there. Everyone that's on YouTube or Twitter or any other socials, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or If you're interested in today's call summary, go on hub.bacondao.com and you can find our community call summary there, as well as all of our content. And if you want to join the conversation on a more casual basis, join our BaconDAO Discord, discord.gg/bacon. We are hovering around 25,000 members. It's a very, it's a very big community. Activity is starting to come back as markets starting to pick up again. But other than that, yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Okay, AMT asked, I've been moving for the past few weeks, haven't been online much this way, I've been answered. But the bacon that is in our MetaMask for winners of various prizes, would that be automatically redeemed? Yes, that will be automatically redeemed. So before we had a bacon like voucher with 10 million total supply. Our actual token with the real tokenomics is 200 million total supply. So that's why for each one bacon voucher you have in the various prizes and early airdrops, for one bacon voucher there, you will get 20 bacon, the actual trading one. And I'll take a snapshot of everyone's balance at our listing time, and then I'll just airdrop everything. So you don't have to redeem anything. You'll get it right away. Yeah, that's a good question to ask. Thanks, AMT, and appreciate everyone that's been with us so far. Stay tuned, and if you could please sign up to our BaconDAO hub. I'm gonna be posting a lot on here, and this is very powerful. I think all of our content will be in one place, and you'll be rewarded for helping out. It's happening. Okay, thanks guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Closing the YouTube call now, and see to this week's summary and vote on next week's topic, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Bye bye.